is Foreign News O'Clock on All News Nigeria. I am Okweyemi Olubemi. Here are the headlines for today. King Charles relaxed as Australia removes monarch from banknote. Chinese spy balloon seen over United States of America. Now the news in detail. The British High Commissioner to Australia, Vicky Teardale, has revealed that Britain is relaxed about the prospect of not having King Charles III on the $5 note. The Reserve Bank announced on Thursday that it would not replace the image of Queen Elizabeth on the $5 note with King Charles, but with an image that honors the culture and history of first Australians. Teardale said the UK was not at all offended by the move. The RBA said it had consulted the federal government on the decision and had the government's support.
The proposal from the Reserve Bank is that the $5 note would contain a First Nations design rather than a person, a design. The monarch will still be on the coins, but the $5 note will say more about our history and our heritage and our country, and I see that as a good thing.
Australia's new $5 banknote will feature Indigenous history instead of King Charles. The bank will consult first Australians in designing the $5 banknote, which will take some years to be designed and printed. Indigenous Australians and designs have appeared on Australian currencies since decimal currency was introduced in 1966, while the Queen has featured on the nation's notes since 1923. The first $1 notes, designed by Gordon Andrews, featured imagery of Indigenous rock paintings and carvings with a back painting by artist David Malangi, Damiringo. After the $1 note was taken out of circulation, it wasn't until the $10 polymer note was introduced in 1988 that a note featured Indigenous designs again. The Queen also featured on the paper $1 notes from decimalization until it was discontinued. The current $5 design, updated in 2016, is the last Australian banknote designed to feature the monarch, with Canberra's Parliament House on the other side. In other news, a suspected Chinese spy balloon has been seen flying over the United States for a couple of days. US officials revealed this on Thursday, February 2. This will be a brazen act just days ahead of a planned trip to Beijing by US Secretary of State Antony Blinken. The US took custody of the balloon when it entered US airspace and had observed it with piloted US military aircraft, an official told Pentagon reporters on Thursday on condition of anonymity. The US has very high confidence it is a Chinese high-altitude balloon and that it was flying over sensitive sites to collect information, the official added. One of the places the balloon was spotted was Montana, which is home to the Malmstrom Air Force Base, where there are some 150 silos for intercontinental ballistic missiles, including the nuclear-capable Minuteman III. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, while traveling in the Philippines, convened a meeting of senior Pentagon officials on Wednesday to discuss the incident. The defense official said the U.S. has engaged Chinese officials through multiple channels and communicated the seriousness of the matter. The United States is expanding its military presence in Asia in a string of moves aimed at countering Beijing and reassuring Indo-Pacific allies it will stand with them against threats from China and North Korea. On Thursday, Austin announced an expansion of military cooperation with the Philippines, a longtime U.S. ally in Southeast Asia. The senior defense official said the United States had mobilized fighter jets, including F-22s, to shoot down the balloon if ordered by the White House. The Pentagon ultimately recommended against such action, noting that even though the balloon was over a sparsely populated area of Montana, its size would create a debris field large enough to potentially put people at risk. The official said the current flight path would carry the balloon over several sensitive sites, but did not give details. A separate U.S. official said the spy craft had been tracked near Aleutian Island and Canada before entering the United States. In a statement later, Canada's Ministry of National Defense confirmed that a high-altitude surveillance balloon had been detected and its movements were being actively tracked by NORAD, a binational military command with the United States. And that's it on today's news. To keep up with All News Nigeria, kindly follow us on all social media platforms displayed on the screen. We'll be back with more news updates next week. Until then, stay tuned. I am Okwemi Olubimi. Have a lovely weekend.